Welcome to another edition of Closer to Home, Small Business Spotlight. If you're in the market to purchase a home and you're financing that purchase, a lender is going to be requiring you to get home insurance. Today I'm sitting with Pat Riordan with Riordan Insurance to talk a little bit about that as well as other insurance needs that you may need. Thank you for taking time today.
Thanks for coming by.
Love your offices.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. So, let's start, I guess, with the basics for everybody. Is tell me a little bit about Riordan Insurance, what you're all about, and your background.
Sure. Riordan Insurance Group has been in existence for about 15 years. We're a insurance brokerage. So what makes us different from a lot of our competition is that if you go to a State Farm, an Allstate, a Farmers Agency, or something like that, they can only quote you one company, and that's it. When you come here, we can shop a lot of those companies and others for you. So we're a one-stop shop for shopping your insurance. I've got 3 great agents on staff that can help with any of your insurance needs, whether it's auto, home, life insurance, and we're in multiple states. So we're able to handle that summer home. If you buy a summer home in Wisconsin or something, we can handle that as well.
Okay. And I was going to ask that because I know everything's bundled these days as well. Do you recommend if someone's even if it's a home purchase then that you also shop everything else because that will undoubtedly make things less expensive?
Yes, we'll shop everything as a package. And then if, let's say for some reason the rate seems really high, we can then unbundle. And sometimes, believe it or not, it's a little less expensive to unbundle everything. It doesn't happen often, but we check it just to make sure anyway.
Gotcha. Mm-hmm. Okay. On the home purchase side, what questions are you asking the buyer at that point about the home, or what is it that you need to know that they may not think that you need to know in order to best quote?
Okay.
I know we've talked about roofs and the
Yes.
fact that now it's more of a replacement cost on age than other things. So
Yes.
it's things like that.
Yes. So the roof is probably the biggest piece. Because it's not typically talked about how old the roof is of the house that you're purchasing. So you want to get that information and any documentation if it's been replaced in the last 15 years. Okay. Hopefully they have those documents and you can get a copy of them. The roofs are a sticky situation because it's supposed to be replacement cost. That's what you want. You want replacement cost on everything in your house. You don't want to have to get actual cash value for it, which is if you buy a $1,000 TV, but you've had it for 10 years, the actual cash value is $300 as an example. On a roof, it's a little bit more pricey. If it costs $25,000 to replace a roof and the roof is, let's say, 15 or 20 years old, they start looking at actual cash value. So instead of getting the $25,000, you might get as low as $10,000, and good luck trying to replace a roof with that. So knowing that the age of the roof helps with keeping your cost lower, but also ensuring that we're getting you the right coverage.
Okay. Are there other similar pieces like the roof that you would also want buyers to ask or find out about the home when they're doing it that helps you and to make sure that they're covered correctly?
Sure. So, I would ask about claims that they've had in the past. We can, when we're working on your policy, we can run a claim report to see what claims have actually been made in the last 5 years on the home. But not everyone's going to file a claim if they have some damage. So I would ask the people selling the house, they have to disclose water damage. Right. That is probably the most common, especially in this Park Ridge, Norwood Park, Edison Park area. Probably the most common claim is water damage. And it's water coming up through the sewers and just filling your basement and destroying anything that's in there. So you want to make sure you have coverage for that. That may not necessarily be something that the lender is wanting to make sure is there, but you're going to want to make sure you have it.
Okay. What other types of insurance, whether it's home or surrounding the home, would you recommend that people look into as well that they may not know exist?
So many of our companies offer some additional coverages that used to be separate policies, but now can be included in the homeowner's policy. One of the big ones would be service line coverage. A lot of the homes built around here, built in the mid-50s-ish, and those sewer lines going from your house to the street are starting to age, collapse, that type of thing. Not crazy amount of that, but it can happen. And to replace one of those tiles in someone's front yard can be a pricey piece. It can be $7 to $10 grand to get that done. We can offer coverage for that, and the coverage only costs $50 a year-ish. So it's a really inexpensive coverage that can just save your wallet a ton of money on a big hit like that.
Okay, gosh, no, it's good to know, and I think we talked about that before as well, and I had added that. So, in terms of, we talked about big box, as I call them, insurance companies versus a broker. How many different companies do you work with?
So we have 13 right now.
Okay.
But we're always adding we don't add just any companies. We want to make sure they're all A-rated or better, and that we take a look at any complaints that there's been for claim handling. So we want the best companies, and we want to offer you the best price with that list of best companies.
Okay.
So.
All right. All good information. Anything I'm missing that you want to make sure people know before we wrap this up?
That when you work with Paul, you're closer to home. And here at Riordan Insurance Group, we have insurance down pat. Those are important things to remember.
Thanks, Pat.
Sure.
Appreciate the time today.
Anytime.
If you do have questions about insurance, I'll get Pat's company information in the bio link below. Certainly reach out and talk to him or talk to one on his team. They'll definitely take great care of you. If you do have questions about real estate in the Park Ridge, Norwood Park, Edison Park, or surrounding areas, don't hesitate to reach out. I am always happy to help. And remember, when you work with Paul,
you're closer to home.